1, 2, 3, 6.
We got no issues, you my shade butter, baby. I can't forget you, you a special kind of lady. Cause when I'm with you, girl, you know that you amaze me. Shade butter, save me, my shade butter, baby. Ooh, we got no issues, you my shade butter, baby. I had to get you, you a special kind of lady. And when I'm with you, girl, I can't forget you.
It's been a minute, since I did the intro and all that stuff. And I'm not even really doing a real lesson. So I'm still studying, because when I do this next thing with the Witches series, probably going to make a lot of people mad, because the truth makes people mad, especially when they've been living in a delusion and a lie. And so people are already mad at me. But as long as one day you get set free, that's really all that matters to me. So I have a happy title for me. This is my first experience with Tullahoma Band. And so the reason why, and I should have been done this, a minute ago, but I don't know why I didn't do it. And so yesterday was Tullahoma's Band banquet. And we went and stuff like that, of course. I think people think I'm antisocial, but really, big crowds, I just do not. And I don't know. I try to do it, but I just, I'm used to being by myself, to be honest. So I do these things because I love my son. And, just because I don't really like too big crowds as me at the supper. That's crazy. So we went, and anyways, it gets to, where they're having the kids come up or giving awards. That was good. But it gets to the senior part, because the seniors get ready to leave and everybody had something to say and stuff like that. And I had been telling E, do not wish your life away. I feel like as adults, now we know we should have just high school was it for us. We should have just appreciated high school. But we got in there and it was awkward and we just hated it. And we just every day, I just cannot wait to be over. Wait till it be over. Senior year comes and you kind of I don't know if I really want it to be over. Because then you realize life, it's life after this for real. It's life. It's not going to be the same. So I cried a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, in my little seat over there, with these kids, but because I remember that feeling that they had. I remember going, dang, there was just things that I could have been more appreciative about, when I was younger. And one of the kids was like, if I could just go back do the 4 years again without the homework, it would have been great. We all know that feeling. But it did make me tear up a little bit because I know these kids, not because they're really friends. And I'm going to give the example on my first experience with Tullahoma Highschool Band. Now, Elijah's been in band since the 6th grade. And so what I love about the way the school system is that I think they kind of require you to start at 6th grade and go all the way through. So these kids end up building, real relationships. They've been through real things together. They've had to work things out. And so I know it, watching yesterday, it's hard, really hard for them to leave one another because they are really, it's more than family. They are really friends because you can have family members and not like them, but these kids have, I don't know, it's something that I think every adult that is involved with them, maybe because we're so involved with them, we not necessarily look at how great these kids are, but we really need to sit back and be like, if we could do this as adults, what would this look like? how much change could possibly happen. And so, they're going through some seniors, and there's one senior that one kid that's leaving, that's a senior, that I am like, who is going to replace him? Like, to me, he's the hype man, and they actually called him the hype man. But with the story that I'm going to tell, he was really my first real introduction to Tullahoma Highschool Band, and what that really means is so much more than just being a band member. So, and then there was another kid that whose name they call his senior. He's leaving, and I mean, like, these kids were like tore up that this senior is leaving. And then when I asked E, like, what does he do? And then he was like, he just goes around sewing into people. But I was like, oh wow, that is, I could see. And so, anyways, I had like several moments in the bank where I was like, golly, a lot of the seniors were going away for college. I was like, God, I wonder if they're going to come back, because if you want me to be honest, I think like us adults have created an environment where kids leave here and they don't never really want to come back until, you know, it's like they're about to settle down and want to raise some kids, and sometimes it's not even that, but just to retire, something like that. I feel like sometimes people leave and they just don't never want to come back. But the kids that are leaving, I feel like, okay, go to college, come back, and you need to be, the next leaders, because they are leaders. They are leaders. And here we go. I had to ask Elijah band terms. So I missed the first competition. I believe that they won that one. So I went to the second competition at Stones River. And this competition was a little different. Like, I could tell with like the first performance that maybe our band was not in this genre band. So like the first band kind of like had like a background music that was played, by like a radio thingy or whatever, and it was a little showy. You know what I'm saying? Like a little showy. To me, our band is like a real band. Like, we play everything. I don't even think we have a background situation. About 90%. I'll say like 95% of the time. I don't think we have that. I think that we actually play legitimately everything, which is amazing, because like the little formations that they have to do and still be on point, that's just too much. So long story short, I thought the band did amazing, because to me, it's raw talent. Like there's no track playing and then you're just playing little parts to the song. I don't necessarily believe that that's a band, right? But our band plays everything. And so like I was like, this is a given. Plus it's my first competition with band. This is my first, like the first one attending and all that stuff. So when I got there, you guys, first of all, like I had to tell this part. When I got there, I was like, it's full here. I was like, oh, this is a serious thing. Because where I'm from, I'm saying, like, nobody really pays attention to the band like that. Like, I feel like Tullahoma, like, band kids made the band cool, like, to be in the band. Like, I didn't know that, okay? So, listen. So, I was, like, looking at the stands. I'm like, oh, my God, like, the stands are full and stuff like that. Like, this is interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really new to this whole situation. So, I just sat off in a cut, you know what I'm saying? And was dancing to all the songs because they were good. And so everybody gets down and I guess done, and the field commanders, kind of line up. And so the way they did it was the field commanders kind of stood on the field in front of the judges, I think, where we could see them. And so behind them, there was another set of bleachers, and the bands that they represented were directly behind them. So like, say Tullahoma was in the middle, the band was not on the grass with them, but they were in the bleachers directly behind them. Okay. And then like, that was the way it was the whole way through. So they're starting to give like awards. And Tullahoma is not being called. And so I'm sitting there like, I don't think we're going to get anything. Now, Tullahoma is like real strict, I could tell, because they were very much so in military stance. They didn't crack a face. There was no emotion. Like, I know in their hearts they probably were feeling something, but like they were at attention, and that's just what it was. So that like intrigued me a little bit too, because I'm watching, and then all of a sudden, you guys, I see the band, that's in the bleachers behind them, stand up. Why are they standing up? And it clicked to me that they realized they weren't going to get any awards. And if they're going to take this L, they're going to take this L together. Now, mind you, the field commanders can't see them. So they don't know that their band or team back there is now standing up, taking this L together. So ever since that day, I have had that same vision come up every now and then where I was like, I could not imagine what those field commanders felt like when they turned around and saw their band members standing, taking that L with them. That is the true definition of a team. And I could not imagine what it felt like being the teachers of those kids and watching that level of commitment to one another. That was dope. But here's the best part. So I'm sitting there like, these kids are about to be so sad walking back to the bus. Like, I'm thinking this. Y'all, these kids were skipping and they were excited. Now they got like a little participation flag. So one of these seniors that, so we finally get back to the bus thingy. And so I'm like, well, at some point they're going to be sad, right? So the hype man gets like the bullhorn and he's like holding the plaque. And he was like, all right, you guys, we lost everything. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I was like, what? He was on the board. He was like, we got a little participation flag or whatnot. And I was sitting next to I was like, who is this kid? And so he gets to chat, like the way we took that L, I was like, did we win? Because I've never, ever been in a group or been in an activity where they made losing look so good. I looked around and the people that actually won, they were looking at us like why are they so happy? Like the kids had their own little chant and stuff like that. And so I mean, like I was still just kind of flabbergasted. We were walking back to the car and I just didn't say nothing and I sat in the car. And at this time, Elijah was having to make a decision between football and band. And deep down, I wanted him to pick football because I didn't understand band, if you want to be honest. But that night actually changed my life. Like those kids, every parent that has a kid in the band, you should be a proud parent. But not only should you be a proud parent, we probably all need to take a lesson from our children, for real. And so I got in the car with him and I said, son, if you pick the band over football, I understand why. Because if I had people to lose with like that, It's just a given. I I was I'm still taken aback. So yesterday, not to be like a crier, but yesterday when those kids were giving their little speeches and all in their feelings, I was like, it's got to be hard because even as grown adults, a lot of us have never experienced friendship like that. Them kids, I was like, ooh, imagine losing and turning around. Mm, yeah. Mm, that was mm, that was yeah. So sorry, guys. those kids are those kids are something else. But uh, I tell that story because obviously there is something here where we live that we may complain about these kids being lazy sometimes or not how to do on the job right, but maybe it's us that's the problem because those two, maybe we need to take some lessons from those two directors or teachers for Tullahoma Highschool Band, and I'm gonna include the middle school teachers too, also because it starts there, and so the way that they have built that program, they have built more than soldiers because even like throughout like we've been on a few things and you'll see somebody kind of going through something and like the person does not get to be sad for long. I'll put it that way. Before the like somebody's and they're like, hey, what's going on? What do we need to do? I'm like, oh my God, like what is this? And so every time I be experiencing Tullahoma High School Band, I'll be like, I've never seen nothing like this before because we can't get along as adults. We can't get along as adults. We can't get along as adults. And then, like, so, but those kids, like that day, it'll be something that I'll never forget. I'll never forget. And I just kind of was like, why are they standing up? What are we doing? Do we need to stand up? So dingy. Do we need to stand up too? I just could not imagine being a field commander and turning around and like my whole squad is standing up like we got to take this L together. We are. We're gonna take the L together. That's dope. So I wanted to give that story because I know sometimes, like I may not get engagements or anything like that, but I do know that my lives circulate because I'll be having conversation with people and then they repeat what I said in something and I'm like, oh, you saw it? So I wanted to make sure if I tell the story that I tell that experience, and I hope that it gets to the teachers, and I hope that it gets to like Tullahoma School District and people that it needs to get to, because I know like y'all can spread the bad stuff, but I just want everybody to know that they didn't get to experience that day, that if you have the right people around you, even when you're losing, you're winning. Even when you're losing, you're winning. And that is my Jay's evening coffee / morning coffee. I was gonna hit send when I'm done recording this, but that's what I want people to understand. Even when I lose, I'm winning. When you have people like that, they got your back. They just stood up like some soldiers, like, you're not taking that L by yourself. You may be down there representing us, but we're going to take this L together. Oh, and then like when we went to the slash competition, and like anybody's name got called, they clapped till they got up to get the award, and then they clapped all the way till they sat down. I was like, Tullahoma High School Band plays absolutely no games. No games. Amazing. Amazing. And I'm sorry that I'm so busy that I can't be more involved with the rest of those moms, to the moms and the dads and all of those that helped Tullahoma High School Band be as great as they are. For real. Kudos to all of y'all, because that is a beautiful thing. And if we as adults could just do that, if we could just do that, imagine what all could be done. There's all walks of life of kids in that group, all walks of life. Indian, Mexican, white, black, big, skinny, nerdy, athletic looking. There is all walks of life. Super educated, not completely educated, with money, without money. And if those kids could do that, the question is, why can't we? Why can't we? Thank you.